you head into the bathroom, you sit down, you go to pull out your cup, you're like, I can't find it, your heart starts racing, you're getting really hot, you're reaching your fingers up there, you're like, I do not feel this cup, I think it's gonna be up there forever. You're panicking, you're not sure what you're gonna do, you're like, if I can just find that stem, I am gonna pull. Stop, stop, stop. Take a breath. Do not pull that stem. I promise your cup is not lost up there. It can only go so far. It will not get lost. You're in the right place. Let's find your cup. I don't want to waste too much of your time with introductions because I know you are in a situation right now, but I'm Dr. Nicole. I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist, and working with the pelvic floor, aka vaginas, is what I do on a regular basis. You're in good hands. Let's get this cup out. The first thing that you need to do is relax. I know you're panicked. I know you're feeling afraid. You're thinking it's going to get stuck up there, but it's impossible. It cannot get stuck up there. Relax. When you get tense and anxious, your pelvic floor muscles actually squeeze tighter, and it's going to be harder for you to reach fingers up there and to get that cup out. The second thing here is if your cup has a stem, you may not have even realized that some cups don't have stems at all, but we'll get to that in a second. If your cup has a stem on it, you might be tempted to just pull it out. As soon as you find that thing, you're just gonna pull that sucker right out of there. Don't do that, and there's a few reasons why, but the main thing you need to know right now is don't do that. Okay, now that your pelvic floor is nice and relaxed, and you know that you're not gonna pull on that stem, I want you to go ahead and just reach one finger up into your pelvic floor. Yes, this is a wine glass, but it is very similar to your pelvic floor. Watch Put a Cup in It or Period Nirvana. Both of them use something very similar to this to show you what a vagina canal looks like. As you can see, there is an end to it. There's no way that it can keep going, and your vagina is very similar. That cup is up there, so I want you to just take one finger. Maybe two fingers wasn't really fitting. Just take one finger. Whoop, lost my cup. Take one finger. Try to find that cup. When you find that cup, I want you to go ahead and press on the side. By pressing on the side of that cup, you're breaking the seal. So you may not have realized, but the reason that these cups work is that they form a suction around your cervix, and they hold themselves on by suctioning on. If you just pull the stem out, you're actually pulling on your whole uterus, and that's not really good for you, especially if you have any history of prolapse, you've had children. It's not really a great thing. What they really want you to do is break the seal first. Sometimes they say just put one finger up there, push in, that'll break the seal and make it easy to come out. Or for me, I like to reach both fingers in. I don't have to go quite as high, but I just pinch at the bottom. When I pinch at the bottom, it changes the shape just enough that it breaks that seal. I can then take my pinch and bring it down. If you break the seal with one finger, like this, and that works, then you can go ahead and move your fingers down to the stem and pull at that point. But you do want to make sure that the seal is broken before you just go ahead and pull on that stem. You might be thinking, okay, it's loose, it's coming down, but I still feel like it's not going to come out of that opening. Something that you can do is wiggle it back and forth, side to side. So I'll show you outside of my vaginal canal. You're just going to wiggle the cup side to side, and that way it can kind of slide out a little at a time. It's like wearing a tight pair of pants. You're going to wiggle your way out of them. With this cup, you're going to wiggle its way out. When you get to the entrance, and if it feels like this circle is just too big to just come out whole, go ahead and tip the cup and let one side out, either the top or the bottom. If you let the top out first, less chance of leaking there. But let one side out and then pop the other out, and then just go ahead and pull the cup straight down. Obviously, the more upright you keep the cup, the less leaking that's going to occur. If you're still thinking to yourself, I cannot find this cup, I can't get my pelvic floor to relax, I can't get this thing out, you have a couple of options. If you're not in a public bathroom, you can go ahead and get into a deep squatting position. In this position, your pelvic floor should be nice and open, and you may feel like you have more room to reach your fingers up, break the seal, and pull the cup out. Another great place is in the shower, especially if you have a nice hot shower. You can get relaxed. You can prop one leg up on a bottle of shampoo or the edge of the bathtub or wherever you can find a spot for your foot in the shower. That is another position that is going to open up your pelvic floor and make it so there's a little more space for your fingers to get up there and pull it out. If you clicked on this video because your cup was stuck and now your cup's not stuck, I would love to know in the comments what trick or which cue made this the easiest for you. As I said earlier in this video, some cups don't actually even have a stem, and the reason that they don't is because maybe you have a lower cervix like I do, and it's really uncomfortable for the stem to kind of be like hanging out in your vagina, and it just hits things that is not really comfortable. You can actually cut this stem off if that's the case. You can also turn this cup inside out so that there's not a stem, or you can just simply buy a cup that doesn't have a stem. You might be thinking, well, then how do you get it out? When you pinch to break that seal, or you put a finger up there to break that seal, then you're going to go ahead and just pinch the bottom and bring it right down. The stem is a little bit misleading. The stem, the one that was hiding, is a little bit misleading because it makes you think you want to pull on it. But really, I think that's more of a mental thing, so that you feel like, okay, there's something at the entrance that's very similar to the string of a tampon, so I'm not afraid it's going to get lost. But honestly, you shouldn't be using that stem for really much more than pulling it after you've already broken the seal. Now that you've got this thing out, you might be thinking, how do I clean it? How do I store it? What am I supposed to do with this thing? If that is you, this video over here is going to be really helpful. I go over how to sanitize it, how often you need to sanitize it, how to store it, how long this thing can actually last, and it's in this video right here. If you just happen to stumble upon this channel today, I really hope you'll stick around. We're all about periods and pregnancy and just really vaginas in general, and we would love to have you here as part of our community. Thanks so much for watching today. I'll see you all in the next video.